This slide shows about the three branches of government and how they came to be. They first started because the authors of the Constitution wanted to have separate powers, so they decided to create the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The point of doing this was so that each branch wouldn't have more power than the other one, and it would create a fair and equal balance. So the first branch I'm going to talk about is the executive branch, and the executive branch is the branch the president is the leader of. Some of the duties that the president has: the right to enforce federal laws and recommend new ones, and then they also serve as the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. One of their biggest responsibilities is meeting with other leaders from other countries and trying to solve issues. They also have the power to grant pardons. So if they feel that someone was wrongly imprisoned, then they would be able to pardon them. The next branch I want to talk about is the judicial branch, and this is the branch that basically is our court system. It's the Supreme Court, it's the highest court there is, and that's what makes up the judicial branch. There are more than 7,500 cases sent to the Supreme Court every single year, but only about 80 to 100 of those cases are actually accepted. On the Supreme Court, there are 9 justices, and then one of those justices is the Chief Justice. The next part that I'm going to talk about is the legislative branch. And the legislative branch is split up into 2 separate entities. These entities include the House of Representatives and the Senate. So talking about the House of Representatives, the representation in this department is based on the number of people living in each state. So a state like California will obviously have a lot more representatives than a state like, say, Rhode Island. If you wanted to run for House of Representatives, there are 3 distinct qualifications you must have. You must be at least 25 years old, you must have been a U.S. citizen for the past 7 years, and you also must live in the state that you're representing. And if you're lucky enough to be voted in to the House, then you can serve a term of 2 years. After that term is up, you can be re-elected, or they can elect someone. The next, the other half of the the other half of the legislative branch is the Senate. So in the Senate, each state is represented by 2 people. It doesn't matter how many people you have in your state. So the largest state is going to have 2 representatives, and the smallest state is going to have 2 representatives, which gives us that total of 100 senators. Each senator serves a term of 6 years, and when that term is over, the people from the state in which those members are elected, they may choose to elect a new senator, or they can keep the same one. And if you want to run for senator, there are also 3 qualifications that you must have. You must be at least 30, you must have been a U.S. citizen for the past 9 years, and you must live in the state in which you represent. And that concludes my presentation on the 3 branches of government. Thank you.